Okay, let me start. I should speak to the microphone. Yeah, it doesn't work. It does. Is there anyone? Okay.
Dzień dobry, nazywam się Agnieszka Rossa, to jest pracowniczka
Hi, my name is Agnieszka Rossa. This is my partner. We are from the MAKonLine ubezpieczenia, an insurance company, and what we do, we're insuring a film production. We selected this matter and this idea for our life because
drodze
in
ubezpieczeniowej.
our insurance life, I mean, our origin is the insurance industry, not film industry. We encountered a problem when it comes to film production insurance, and we decided to deal with that to a deeper extent because it is an important thing, it's an interesting thing, and yes, we found it so interesting that we decided that it's worth to spend our professional life on this. I started that we're from the insurance industry, so what we did for many years, so we've been doing simple insurance as you would normally have in the insurance industry. So 12 months policy, which indemnifies you from fire or some other random events or out or third-party liability, etc., etc. So things that everybody knows everything, and the insurance companies are very well acquainted with this. Above all, this is very important. Insuring film production is a combination of two worlds which never want to meet. The producer doesn't really know what he could insure or how he could insure it, and the insurance company, when they hear about film production, they say, absolutely, I don't want to insure this is too big of a risk for me. And this is where our work, I would say from the outset, it consists in combining the fire and the water to help with the producer and not to cause too big of a trouble to the insurance company. Why film production is such an untypical production that it makes them refuse to cooperate. Why? Because no person sitting behind the desk in an insurance company have ever been to a film set, and they have no idea what happens there and what sort of risks this production causes. Film production, as any other production, like production of shoes, production of toothbrushes, is still a production. So we take upon ourselves certain responsibility. We're trying to organize something to make a product at the end that we will be trying to market. And this is quite important. But here in film production, for the insurance company, this is a very unstable risk because of the, for example, fact that the film production is not a constant risk throughout 12 months. If we have, for example, fire insurance of a building, we know the protections, we know the risks. The risk is the same throughout the year. We know the premium, and everybody's safe. In film production, we have a producer, we have a director. These are producers and executive producers are those who are responsible for organizing the filming set and film production, and these are our main clients. So we do not have a big company which have 40 people who will be producing a movie one after the other. It's usually a producer who organizes this film production. So he employs all the other people that would be producing this movie, and these are not his constant employers. These are it's like a number of enterprises and subcontractors and artists and various people that would cooperate with them to finally produce this movie, which at the end of the day, which it would have to exist as a product in a film market. So first of all, an insurance company is afraid of a risk that is not stable. Secondly, they don't know anything about this risk, as I said, because they have never been to a filming set. A human being that that is called the underwriter, or the person who decides which risk he can take for what money or for his company. Watches movies on TV, in streaming, and in the cinemas, but he has no idea that the film equipment is, for example, an equipment that is standing in one place and somebody can use it and other people don't use it. That this equipment, or like this whole film crew, is moving around all the time with this equipment, doing stuff. People have to take care of it. There's plenty of people on the set who do not pay sufficient care, and these are if they don't know about it, they are afraid of it. If they know about it, they say they don't want it because it's too risky. Another very important element of that is that due to in relation to the organization of the filming set, the traditional risks, the traditional policies, you have plenty of traditional policies. It's not one risk. It's third-party liability, equipment insurance, health insurance for the people. Plenty of things that are brought together, and this is what we did. At some point, we collected all the risks that could relate to the filming plan, so that there is no loophole through which a risk can get away, so that something is not under insured. We decided we wanted to combine everything into one thing, so that the producer doesn't have to wonder whether he bought everything for the filming set, because of course as you know, damage is always in places which are not covered by the policy. These are the risks with which a film set has to deal, that the filming set experience. This is what the insurance company has to tackle and face. The film producer in reality is responsible for both people and equipment and location and all the contracts they sign with all the entities that are engaged in this process. And most importantly, they take responsibility for the money that is not their own. So because they are employed by, I don't know, producer, investor who invested their money, so they're entrusted with the money for getting to the final result. But this is not his money, not his risk. He's responsible for other people's money that within the budget that is entrusted to him by the investors, by the producers, co-producers, that they will make a movie to which they were employed. So here are all the risks that are related to that, and which also are included in the producer's responsibility. This is the insurance of the equipment. It's most popular. Everybody knows it's an equipment. It's very fragile. There's a lot of it on the set. A few truckloads. And that it has to be secured and indemnified. We have so many. Sorry, it has to be insured. So we have a lot of experience with that. So you have to be aware that whenever you're on the set, there's always some sort of a loss. Of course, these are not. These are not losses of high value, but a few thousand zlotys are always spent and are at a loss, and somebody has to pay for this. So it's better if an insurance company pays for that, and not the executive producer, or not the person who sort of stumbled upon it and damaged the equipment. People should always be protected by insurance. There should be an accident insurance, third-party liability insurance on the set. We made such a program to make it for the producers that these are people on the film set. So these are not just random people that do some random work. That these are no-name policies, because it's very difficult to list everybody on the set for every day who will participate in this. That it is a producer's liability. So all people who are under the responsibility of the executive producer are insured. This is quite important. Accident policy. So if something happens to somebody, if there are costs of rehabilitation or costs of treatment, this is also very important. So if we take on some third-party liability as an executive producer, usually it's a policy that covers the same area or the same field that you take on yourself, but it also include all the subcontractors that we have employed. Locations, that's another, apart from the equipment, or maybe even more important than the equipment, the area of damage from the film crew is entering a location, and it's as if a zoo has passed through a location, and there's no chance to limit that or in any way to protect that, because if we rent a villa and we have every day we have 60 people walking in there, it's no chance that they would not damage it in some way. We should always take care that the damage is as little as possible, but of course this can be pretty costly, and the owners of this location who are renting them out for film production then at the end make a list of damage of what was damaged and how much it would cost them. So it's also good if an insurance company pays for that and not a producer who rented out that location. And when we were talking already about the financing, it's the responsibility of the producer, which he has for the money. He gets the money to get a certain goal, to get to a certain product, and within the limit of his budget, he should be able to do it within his budget because this is his responsibility. There are different ways of productions. We divide them into big and small. It happens sometimes that if the production is small, like two guys take a camera and they go somewhere into the world to film something. This is also film production, but you have to be. There is a lot of requirement in such as a case. They can undergo. There's not much to insure there, they can get an accident, and they can destroy an equipment, but they also can cause damage to somebody else. So there you have to have a third party liability. So there are the three things everybody should have. But there are also big productions. So when we get this producer coming over to us, basing on a short discussion, we can decide whether it's enough to get him a simple policy, of course adapted to his work, or maybe it would be better to get him a specialized policy, about which I will tell you in a sec, which is available on the market, but you would have to know how to approach it. So in any production you have to have people insured, but then you have to adapt this policy. If it's a simple production, you have to use simple policies I told you about, or you have to have a specialized policy for film production, about which I will tell you in a second. What does the Polish insurance market look like versus film production? We produce more and more movies, all sorts of movies, feature and documentaries and commercial, but the Polish insurance industry doesn't want to offer specialized product for the film industry. Of course, it does exist in the Western Europe, for example. Well, not only there, also in the south of Europe. There's not too much of it. It is not so that every insurance company wants to do it. There are specialized underwriters agencies who create products for film production, and this is not a single film production that is behind it, but a few of them. which allows them to distribute the risk of film production to number of insurers. As in Poland, we do not have a specialized product like that. We've been cooperating for quite a long time. We've been cooperating with Circle Group, an underwriters agency, and it's a company which is seated in Luxembourg. They're also present in Brussels, and they have this product for the whole of Europe. So with their they have intermediaries like me and Aneta, brokers they cooperate with, who specialize in insuring film production. And this is a product created especially for film production. What the Polish market offers is the accident insurance for the people, equipment insurance. Of course, not every policy would look the same in every insurance company, because this is a policy that is based on electric equipment insurance. It's important to define that it's a film equipment. It will not always be an IT equipment, because an IT equipment is the one that processes data. In the film industry, you have a lot of equipment that is not a data processing equipment, because you have cables, cases, trolleys, etc., etc. Trolleys, dollies, etc. And this is all. And also third-party liability. So for every damage you cause to another person. So if the policy says that if the insurance company is responsible, just like I am responsible, with a lot of exclusions which are in the policy. So this also understand that if you have a third-party liability company, it means you will have everything there. There's a lot of exclusions which you can either turn on if you don't, if it's not required, then no. But there are also things that are not indemnifiable. This is a model for simple film production, because quite often in film productions things are available only at the last moment, which the insurers hate, because they just like it. So we have products for simple productions. So in order to have the potential to answer, in order to be able to do it quickly, we have the third-party liability, equipment, and accident insurance. It's available very quickly. So you just write to me what sort of equipment you have, where you're going, and when. This is to save time for producers and for us. And you have the policy of all risks of film production, about which we were talking already. So these are specialized products. We get it from the insurer whose name is Circle Group. So these are mainly policies available in Europe, and our product is interesting in this that we have already transposed it totally into the Polish market. We have general terms and conditions in Polish. Everything is done by us and based and on our conditions. It's one policy which includes all the risks that are related to the film market. We're very quickly when you would give us basic information about the movie, we can prepare an offer for you very quickly. Apart from the people, because accident insurance is separate, there's also a possibility which we don't want to use, but because we believe our program is better than what the insurer offers. And this is connected with to all the film sets which are covered by one policy. The axis of all this policy is the insurance of a carrier. So this is a risk consisting in whatever we record is insured and to the level of the budget in case the data we have on the carrier are lost or they're not recorded properly. So at some point when we started to work in with the film industry, it was more tangible because the films were made on the tape, and you knew that it can get it can get damaged and it can get light exposure. Everybody knew. Everybody knew there's no risk, but we felt that there is some risk with the digital stuff too, because we have damage. For example, somebody comes over during the set, during the break, and presses delete, and the whole filming day is gone. Because and what do you do then? Then you have to remake the whole filming, the day of filming. So it's 100,000 zlotys. It's not small money at all. Usually, these codes, when it comes to the another claims that can happen that cause big costs and big problems on the film producer side are like this. This is the axis. We have the budget of the movie and what the movie is about. And to this, we're adding all other risks that are related to the filming set. We can take them, but we do not need to take them. We do not need to insure everything. This is as a sort of basis or like blocks from which we can build our insurance. Another important thing in insurance is not the key person not appearing on the set. And this is an insurance from death, accident, or illness. So it's not that if somebody's hangover or they can't get up of bed because they feel burnout or whatever. If this is about the death of this person, or they're also protected in the under this insurance, because this also causes big losses. Not appearing of a key person on the set, lasts for at least 1 day. So if we're ready to work on that day and we can't work on it during this day, on this day, we have the costs and we have to transfer that to some other day. And depending on this, the cost will be higher or lower. The biggest damage that we had from the key person not appearing on the set, it was an American actor who was employed in a Polish film, who on the 5th day of filming broke his hip and couldn't play in that film anymore. So it was 1 million euro, because the producer had to very quickly engage a different actor from the United States. He was very agile. He was very apt, and he did it very quickly. But this included a lot of bigger costs that were in pre-production. So there was a lot of nervousness, and the producer was very nervous. But everything worked well. Everything was paid out. So, but of course, we have a lot of smaller problems. For example, somebody has a flu, or his child got sick and got to hospital. But these can also be such claims, such damage, that in the middle of the filming you have to start shooting from the beginning because somebody dies in an accident, somebody who's insured as a key person. So then we have to scrap everything we recorded and make everything anew. And get the financing again for the film again. Third-party liability, so any damage done to other persons. Third-party liability in locations for third-party equipment and property. So property damage. Filming equipment, which is easy in this policy because we do not require any list of equipment. It happens, it may be this way or another. So the insurer will not take an equipment that was not listed before. Only after the damage we require documents. We require the documents what the equipment, because what sort of equipment is covered by insurance. The same applies to set design, to the props, so anything that we're building for the needs of the film production, and as well as special equipment and special vehicles, because this is the only policy in Poland that is able to insure accident damage for the vehicles that are playing in a movie, because all the insurers who are using accident damage for the cars who have their exclusion in terms and general terms and conditions, saying that the vehicle is not insured if it's used as a prop on the set. So that's the only possibility to insure that vehicle from not appearing on the set. So if there is some accident, which was of course unplanned in the script, I'm not talking about the cars which are supposed to be destroyed against the tree. I'm talking about somebody by accident doing something to a vehicle. We had recently a claim that the actresses were walking out of the supermarket, and they were walk out with the trolleys, and so happy and chatting, and they were so happy and chatting that they bumped the trolleys into the car that was used on the set. So these claims happen too. And additional costs, which are on the very top. I didn't talk too much about them because this is a very important element, and it generates high losses on the filming set. It applies to all the things such as equipment, cars playing a role. If we have a camera, so for example, if the camera is insured, usually the owner of the camera will get the insurance, but not the producer. So he has to get another camera. So these are additional costs. He has to get another camera on the set. The same applies to vehicles playing a role. If there are cars playing a role, and if it gets destroyed, let's say we have 5 filming days already with that car, we'll already have to pay for the remake of the scenes where the car was used. For the car, the owner of the car will get the insurance. On the side of the producer, all other costs related to that. We have set designs which gets burned, for example, because it happens like that too. Then we also have to build another set. This is also producer's cost. But we also have to film things anew, because we will have a different decoration, a different set design. It might be similar, but we will have to change things. These are also costs which are on the part on the producer, and they're quite heavy. They are quite serious. These are the extra costs against which you can get insured. This guarantee of the extra cost does not exist in any policy, in any traditional property type policy, like equipment, vehicles, or some other items or props we have on the set. This is a special guarantee for the film producer who stays with the problem, because he does not have the equipment that were destroyed on the filming set. And there are few things which are absolute gadgets: luggage, cash, equipment of the production office. The third one is useful sometimes because it's a protection. It ensures the laptops used for production. So if I have some image recorded there, or some important documents related to production, if anything goes wrong with them, this also includes laptops belonging to the producer. And what I said here, I didn't tell you one more thing, and I think this is very important. Not the key person not appearing, additional costs of and we have also a drone. Drone is not a film equipment in the understanding of any film company. It's a flying equipment, so it's a flying equipment, not a film equipment. And this is very important because we sometimes believe that we have our equipment protected and it is included in the list, but it's not secured. We can protect it totally separately. So Polish insurers do not want to insure drones on short term, of course, because if the owner of the equipment has the drone, he can indemnify it, it can insure it. So there are also drones that are being sold with an insurance, just like you buy white goods in a store, you can also buy an insurance. So the producers of drones also have insurance like that, policies like that. But this is not so that if we want on a short term to buy a drone for our filming set, then it doesn't work like this. This can be only done within the policy of all production risks, all risks for production. We're insuring the drone, the filming equipment on the drone. Sometimes it's suspended or it's already embedded in the drone, the carrier, the data carrier embedded in the drone. So all the data that is recorded on the drone, and the third liability insurance of the operator. So, the operators of the drone, if they have a drone over 5 kilo, they have to have this insurance. Below 5 kilograms, they do not have the obligation, and this can also be included in the drone insurance policy. An important thing is to always ask the drone operator if they have the insurance. Apart from asking them, you have to ask him if he is sure that he will want to use this policy. We also had such claims where, yes, of course, the drone operator has his third-party liability, but when the damage appeared, he said he doesn't want to use that third-party liability, and the producer has to insure that because his premium will rise because of the accident. If there is a damage, he would have to pay a higher premium. He doesn't want to do that, and he claims that the producer has to insure the drone. So it's good to make some arrangements in advance before we use the drone for the film production, because later it might occur that, before the damage there is no problem. After the damage, it's just problems. It's best to protect yourself from them, just so late there are no surprises. We have general conditions for our terms and conditions for our insurance written in Polish, and this is important because these are very simple terms and conditions. Nobody likes the GTCs, to read GTCs. I don't like it either. I know how to do it. I know what to look for, but I don't like it. They are written in such a way that even a fool would understand them. Every guarantee, every guarantee is written separately. We have enumerated, listed what is included and what is not included in every guarantee. We have an online system that allows us to conclude policies online. So when we submit an insurance online, every of the guarantees gets highlighted. You can read the general terms and conditions, which are written very, very simply. I stress again, you do not have to understand the insurance business to understand what its insurance is about. If you don't understand it, you can always call us, and then we will explain to you what is the story behind a provision. When to calculate the premium. Well, this is quite an important thing. The insurance can be done online, based on the Citigroup. It's enough to set up an account, and it allows you to calculate the premium even before you start production, as well as submit a concrete policy and concrete insurance. When can we do this? In general, with large productions, it is important to calculate this premium when you are calculating budget, and not when you're just when you're just getting out to the filming set. This is important from the point of view, whether it's simple, complicated set. It's important to calculate the premium when you're counting budget, because 2 days before the filming, we do not have the money within the budget for our premium. And if we get that into the budget, then the budget is already carried on with this premium and everything is all right. And the insurance itself can be, the insurance can be bought out 2-3 days before the filming set, but it's good to contact us before so that you know how it works. And in order to calculate that premium, we need to know the value of the budget, the dates of the production and number of filming days. What's also important in the policy, it's not important for us what is the time of protection, but the filming days within that period. This is the base of that policy. So for example, if we're planning 33 filming days starting 1st January until 30th of June, then you do not have to pay for the policy for the whole period, but for the 33 filming days in that period. This is also a big advantage of that policy. So if you don't manage to realize that film until 30th of June, then you can prolong it without additional premium for a period that will allow you to finish that movie. The place of performance is, of course, we think whether it's more about whether they Poland, Europe, or the rest of the world, because not in every country we can protect. We cannot, for example, secure. We cannot secure or insure our equipment in the war-torn country. Or even there are some countries where it's very difficult to insure. So it depends where this production will take place. And also the number of people that will be insured from non-appearance on the set, but they have to be named. We cannot take a group like 6 people. We have to select people without whom this production will not be able to move on. If these people are not, and these people have to be listed by name and surname in the policy. It's also best to take a few days to start to have a few days to react. So much from me about insurance. Do you have any questions? No questions. Everything was clear. Have you ever had problems with insuring a film production? Have you ever insured film production? No. Okay, for the future you will know. Yeah, the whole equipment that is available here in Film Spring Open is indemnified by us. It is insured by us. And then, yes, we cooperate with Marta and Sławomir Dziak. These are the things you don't think about. We, as a nation, as Polish people, we have very weak insurance culture. We do not believe in insurance. We do not want insurance. We believe nothing will happen. When things happen, we are sort of complaining to the whole world. We do not have such culture. In France, to drive a bike, you have to have the third-party liability insurance. Also, driving a bike. Yes, I mean, if you're driving a bike, you can cause a damage like a person in the car. Well, it's not as horrible ones, but you can have an accident. You can cause an accident. You are not thinking that there might be a very serious financial problems because of that. If you're going abroad, you always have to remember about insuring costs of medication, costs of treatment abroad, even in your normal life, not only in, for example, I mean, of course, you get some insurance from the airlines. Well, you can take it or not. You're not reading whether there are any limits, what are the conditions, if the 50,000 will be enough for for treatment. It's not that somebody will give us back 300 zlotys for visiting a doctor, but if we're in serious trouble, if we need an operation in a country which is expensive, you might need to sell your apartment to save your life. So these are like serious problems, and we do not have that in our blood, in our genes. We are, of course, we are. I mean, you know that we might sound like like scaremongers, but we see a lot of that, and we see a lot of claims. This is what we work with. We know every day this is quite a lot of that.
Reżyser rzadko jest odpowiedzialny.
The director is seldom responsible for what's happening in production, so it's difficult to expect from him to require to expect to him the organization of insurance. I mean, this is the executive producer or a producer who are usually responsible. It has to be someone who's responsible for concluding contracts, for renting equipment, for employing people in the project, because they take this responsibility on them. Of course, the feature productions are more spectacular. You have big budgets; they're the biggest. But we also insure a lot of small productions, musical videos, student etudes too. Absolutely.
Ubezpieczamy produkcję reklamową. Ona akurat nie jest mało duże.
We're insuring film production, which is not small, but this is a totally different risk for us. If we have 33 filming days within 3 months,
To o wiele łatwiej jest
then it's much easier to manage the claims than the productions where you have 2 filming days. So, for example, if a key person does not appear on the set for the 2 days, we do not have the movie. If it's a 2-day production, and you cannot transfer that a month later, but we have to have them here and now. So this is also a bit of a different risk. So commercial production is a bit more expensive when it comes to the policy than the fiction production. Yeah, but commercial production does not think about insurance because they know that you just have to do it. This is in their genes already. And also, we also insure student productions, etc. Of course, not always all risk policy will be necessary, but those 3 basic insurance policies should be there at all times, like third-party liability, accident, and equipment insurance, even if you go out just to film something in the city.
ubezpieczyć sprzęt.
Yes, insure the equipment. You should insure the equipment.
Najzwyczajniej w świecie.
Just send us the list of equipment, insure it. If it's a bigger production, we can do it through a specialized policy, but it's enough. If you go to festivals, it's good to have third-party liability. I mean, on one hand, somebody can break your camera, but you can hit this camera on somebody's head. So it's also good to have such a policy.
I to ważne jest właśnie, żeby to była rzeczywiście polisa dla sprzętu filmowego.
It is a policy for the film. You have to remember that it has to be specified that it's a film equipment policy, not only EEI. Nope.
To jest polisa ubezpieczeniowa.
This is an insurance policy which secures from accidents. accident is a future and an unsure event, but it has to be a random event. The contract risk is it's a commercial risk, but it depends on the case. If we're talking about what sort of not keeping to the agreement due to the accident, what are you talking about? If there's an accident, the insurer will pay for all the accidents, so there will be no reason not to keep to a contract. What reason? That's the most important thing. Why can't they complete the contract? So let's say there's a situation that they are to provide to deliver on the set of the film equipment, and on the way they have an accident and they don't provide the equipment. This is covered by our policy, all risks film production policy. But if they don't deliver this equipment on the set because 3 days before he came, let's say an executor came and took over his equipment for not paying the taxes, then this situation is not covered by the insurance. No, the whole filming equipment is subject to the same premium. It doesn't matter. Here, just the value of the equipment will be different, and the insurance will be different. But the premium is how much you get. The amount of insurance is the same. The amount of insurance is the same for both policies. There's no discernment between more expensive equipment or less expensive equipment. We get the sum of insurance, and we take the value of all the equipment and we derive the premium from that. Student etudes are usually protected by third-party liability. And third-party liability, equipment, and accident. 500 is for equipment, 700 for accidents, and 100, 200 for third-party liability. This is the minimum that we usually the etude costs. An etude cost. Yes. Please join us. Thank you.